Guys, it's Maya from CryptoBay.cafe, and my purpose of this video is to talk about the role that influencers may have played in this whole FTX debacle, and basically how a lot of people didn't know that FTX wasn't the safest exchange, and it's not entirely their fault. So I just wanted to highlight this. So just to start, FTX was giving a lot of money to different influencers. And it wasn't little money. Like I've heard some popular pages making up to 50K. And it's kind of weird because they're just like, oh, it's 50K, but you only make like two videos. Or 50K, you have your referral code, and then you only mention sign up for FTX. So if you think about it, like for those who are not morally obliged, this is a lot of money. But again, before this situation, FTX didn't really pose a threat, right? Like you always saw SBF, going to the White House, working with regulators, being friendly, just being open about like his altruism and how he wanted to help and like blah, 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 whatever. So you wouldn't have assumed that this person is actually a shady little human that is actually using customer deposits, sending them to Alameda, letting Alameda like fail in trades, borrowing back from two companies, and basically like degenerately trading with it while putting on a front to be a responsible, regulated exchange. So I'm going to pose two arguments. One, that the influencers weren't aware. So all they saw was, hey, this is a nice exchange. They're sending me money. I'm not doing much aside from, letting people know that they exist. I am just I'm just making it more well known. Um, so that was happening, right? And then the amounts that people were receiving again were like a lot of money. Like some people were receiving nearly 500,000. But you have to start to think, right? So I don't know if you guys know this, but I am a content creator. I am not a crypto influencer. So I don't, people have sent me their white papers. I don't really push any projects. I will share something if it's useful, but it's not a paid promotion. I just like the technology behind it. I think it's really cool and I wanted to share it with you guys. Or maybe this is a wallet that I've used that you can use, but none of it's like a paid promotion. The only time I've probably received money from a project is a grant that I've written because I've written a proposal to explain a protocol to my fan base for my podcast. So yeah, I don't do a lot of paid sponsors, but I understand why someone with a platform who regularly gets contracts for those things would do so. However, and again, FTX before this week wasn't thought of to be a bad exchange, right? So like I don't think so again, I don't think it's their fault. However, they have to, some of you crypto influencers, you guys have to understand like people literally like some of this is so scary to them. So they're literally just going to they're just going to go on your page, listen to what you say, and go on the platforms you provide for them. That's why I always say, if you're going to do this, please give them options, right? Like if you're only giving them options based upon a paid sponsorship, like that's not really fair, and you have to do your due diligence. I mean, I you guys know me, I'm hypercritical of everything in this space. As much as I love something, I'm just like, but what's going on behind the scenes? Because I know that as much as I love the tech, there's other things happening behind the scenes, and not everyone is a good person or has good intentions in this space. Um, and my first red flag with FTX as a user myself is that when I deposited, it took a few days to get approved. And then when I wanted to withdraw after depositing something, because I was like moving crypto around, like it was like some issue where I had to like convert, but I had to use like multiple exchanges to convert, whatever the case may be. I was like, oh, let me use FTX, sign up. I had to wait like a few business days to withdraw. And I'm always hypercritical of any exchange that like makes me wait to take my money off, because it's like, well, if it was sent, like, why would there be any issue with me immediately? Like, you saw it go from one blockchain, like, you saw it go from one wallet to the other wallet, and it says that it's been sent and received. Why am I waiting to withdraw it again? Like, what is the point of a peer-to-peer transaction if you're withholding my funds in the middle of the period? So that was like the red flag for me. And I never used my FTX wallet ever again. I was like, absolutely not, because I don't have time for this. Like, if I wanted to do that, I would have just done like a bank transfer at that, you know what I mean? Like, why would I use crypto and then wait a few business days to have access? So that's a red flag number like 8 for me with FTX, because it's just like, you should be providing immediate access to their funds. What are you doing within those 3 business days with funds? because it says that it's been received, right? But like I can't take it out. All you have to do is literally create a user interface that reflects a transaction going to my account. But if I can't take it out, does it really exist in my account? So in light of this, also I'm gonna show you a few celebrities that were like dragged into it as well. Unfortunately, they will be sued in a class action lawsuit. And I really, again, I just don't think that's their fault. They didn't know very much. I don't think they knew. Like, no one knew, no one clearly, we all were like, bro, is weird, but like none of us clearly had any evidence. We're just all like suspect, but none of us had full evidence. So all of these people, Larry, Gisele, Tom Brady, and Steph, did a lot of commercials for FTX, and that's another thing. So we should also be wary of any company spending more money on advertising than actually doing the work, right? And then I also, again, several SPF allowing people to send money via their email and phone, which was very like not safe, like just weird little things that could have indicated this. He spent a lot of money on the naming rights for a stadium, advertising. But think about this: you're spending so much money on advertising. Like, I think it's with crypto, it's really word of mouth. Like everyone enjoys using the service. We're all doing this, like blase, blase, blase. So I don't understand. Think about how much money is being spent on advertising. That's how much money is being spent on lobbying. Why would you? So we're starting to see a habit where someone is really trying to form a narrative of I'm good, I'm great, everything's fine, spending millions of dollars to form a narrative. That's a problem. Like again, I was thinking, who lobbies that much? Like if lobbying was that, why won't we see Vitalik doing it? Why don't we see Charles Hoskin lobbying? We don't, right? Because what do? I think they're more focused on having clear and precise tech and not allowing their products to fail, and they're being the architects behind some of this work. They're not doing what he's doing, because the crypto, the decentralized protocols, they should all speak for themselves. I really don't think we need someone to run around Congress shoving money into everyone's hands to really get them to understand. And if that's the only way you can do it, I think that's problematic as well. So again, sorry, just going back to some issues. So so now all of these people I think are going to be in a class action lawsuit. Wow, including Shaq. That sucks, dude. And again, I don't think anyone's at fault because we weren't aware. Like none of this was actively known. We were thinking, worried, but again, I don't think they knew this. No one could have known. If SPF really created a back end where you can go and move massive amounts of money, who would have known that aside from SPF himself or whoever's working with him? And I'm pretty sure they didn't want to say anything to bring regulatory scrutiny upon themselves because that is illegal. So that's the only excuse I'm going to give for that. So yeah, there is a class action lawsuit. Scary stuff, and which includes Tom Brady, Gisele, Steph Curry, Shaq. Oh my God! And then Sam Bankman-Fried is being listed. Some of the biggest names in sports and entertainment have either invested in FTX, have been ambassadors for this company, says the jury, seeking a complaint filed by the federal court in Florida today on behalf of all American consumers who sustained over $11 billion in damages from FTX's recent crash. A number of them have hyped FTX and their social media fans, driving retail customer adoption. Yeah, I mean, they have. A lot of people have been hyping FTX up. So hard. In the case of Curry, the NBA legend admitted in another tongue-in-cheek TV spot that he was not that knowledgeable about crypto. Oh, it sucks. I don't need to be. With FTX, I have everything I need to buy. And oh, I see. Yeah, okay, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. You can't see that. So he added, looking to the camera, I don't need to be. With FTX, I have everything I need to buy, sell, and trade crypto. And that's the thing. This man has gotten this far based upon everyone's ignorance. Like, and I'm not calling people ignorant, right? It's just what we have given up for easeability, we have lost in access to our funds. Every time something is simple or what is thought to be simple, we lose the ability to control our assets and situations like this arise. We need to educate ourselves to avoid situations like this from happening in the future. And again, I don't think it's that hard. I think it's just they're describing it as being difficult. So the average user walking into the space is like, oh my God, this is so tech but it's really not like that. Like, I have videos on my YouTube that discuss self custody and on my Instagram page. And again, if you have any questions, go there, DM me. I can explain it to you, but it's not that hard. And I'm gonna stop this narrative that it's difficult and I have to keep all of my assets within an exchange. But using this verbiage basically encourages people that are new to this crypto space and Web3 and blockchain. And it basically says, hey, you don't have to understand anything. Just go to this exchange and handle all your business there. And that verbiage alone, even though I'm pretty sure Steph Curry didn't even write that, I'm pretty sure those are the words given to him from FTX and whatever was on set or whatever script writer. But again, that mindset um, puts people at risk, essentially. Um, Yeah, this sucks. And I don't think any celebrity did this intentionally. I really don't think. I think they just saw it as this young kid who seems to be doing really great in this space. And this, it has a clean aesthetic and, people can trade on it. And from the outside looking in, it looks really fun. It looks like Disneyland for crypto, right? But I think when you have that outward vision, it's hard. People are not going to dig deep. And that's a huge issue too. Um, yeah. So, so important, although the defendants disclose their partnership with the FTX entities, they have never disclosed the nature, scope, and the amount of compensation they personally received in exchange for the promotion of the deceptive FTX platform, which the SEC has explained that a failure to disclose this information would be a violation of the anti-toting provisions of federal security law. The wide-ranging filing note. Moreover, none of the defendants performed any due diligence prior to, and I'm just going to say this too, is that celebrity who you guys, these are not like regular brand deals. These are investment related brand deals. You have to take this seriously. You guys either need to have a personal assistant that vets these projects and does like a deep dive before you sign anything. But this is going to continue happening to any celebrity that undertakes a contract or a sponsorship with a crypto based company. You are, honey, I wouldn't do it unless I made it myself. That's all I'm saying, because you will directly be blamed because your fan base will most likely engage with the platform and based upon your advertisement or you being involved with it. Um, Again, it's not their fault. They did not know, but we just have to be a little bit more hyper aware and hyper alert when it comes to large platforms requiring the, like brand name faces because they want their fan base to be involved. So again, yeah, citing rulings. And that's what sucks too, because the Kim Kardashian thing was not fair because she did say this is an ad, and that thing wasn't fair. There are other people that could have been a more direct reflection of misrepresentation when it comes from having a paid promotion from a crypto based company. Um, and I hate that that happened because now they're going to cite it as precedents to use against other celebrities that may have gotten endorsements for crypto based companies. Um, yeah, so I don't. Oof, Steph Curry's comment is a little like they might hook him for that. But to be fair, I do not entirely think it's their fault. And I'm pretty sure they were paid an amazing sum of money. And from the outside looking in, it does not seem like that. It does not look like that exchange. Like I didn't have physical proof until I had general negative, like anyone that walks around saying, I'm an altruist, I give things away for free. I'm like, no. Because people who do kind things don't talk about it. They don't make it their whole identity. Look at Jay-Z. Whenever Jay-Z does something kind for his community, you don't hear about it until it's from someone else's mouth. And you know what I mean? Like he doesn't do things to for other people to be like, oh my God, that person's so generous, right? So when someone's whole identity is like, I did this for the community, I did this, like it's like, okay, that's great, but like, what are your true intentions? Are you really doing this to be altruistic? Are you doing it so people would never accuse you of doing anything shady with your platform? We don't know, do we? We know now, but it's usually the face you put to your public is not your actual representational face of what you're doing. Okay, so yeah, that's all I had to say. Okay, bye, you guys.